and welcome to Debbie's Journals. I'm going to be doing something a little bit different today. Well, different for me. It'll be brand new for me, although a lot of other people do it. I'm going to actually try to do a process video. I've thought about this before, but I have no editing software, so I can't fast forward through things. I can't cut and paste and whatever. So anyway, this might just be totally boring, but I'm going to just go ahead and give it a try. And if you're watching it, then I guess it turned out okay, or at least I thought it turned out okay. So I'm always interested to hear how other people put their pages together. I like hearing their thought processes, and I guess just how they go about it. But anyway, so I'm going to try it. I may have to do it in several videos because I don't like mine to get too long, and you're not going to want to watch me do the boring parts, I'm sure. But anyway, so this was my last page that I did, and I'm just going to flip to the next page and get started. This was actually not this past week, but the week before. And so I'm going to just get started here. When I first sat down, what I thought I might do, I had gotten these flyers at work. I don't want to share too much about it because it's work stuff, but anyway, at the bottom, it had this great flower border. So I cut those off. And that was kind of what I was thinking, just because that was, I had just gotten them yesterday from work, and so I cut these out, and I thought, I do kind of sometimes plan a little bit in advance. I mean, not really much before I sit down, but I may see something during the week that I like and think, oh, I'll use that. And then so that's about as much of a plan as I have. Unless I've done something really fun that week, then I might have photos, and then I do it around my photos. So anyway, this is kind of what I was thinking I was going to do. And then I was going through, I just got this brand new set of stickers and whatever, little things that I got from scrapbook.com. And then it also came with like a little packet of tags and, cut out type things. So anyway, this is kind of what I was thinking. So I started putting this down on my page, and I usually kind of line it up a little bit before I get started gluing. I like to be kind of spontaneous, but really I like to kind of put it all down and see how it's going to work out. So this is kind of where I was going. And then two things happened. I was looking through some more, I have more flowery, like a ton of little flowery things like this. Excuse me while I move away for a minute. So I was going through them and sorting out these things and trying to figure out which ones I was going to use. And really just didn't have that much going on last week. And so this leaves a lot of blank space, which I would have had to fill up with a lot of spring stuff. So anyway, I think I've rambled on long enough. But anyway, as I was looking around my table trying to figure out what else I was going to put on there, I realized, like I said, I didn't have a lot to write about. I just did a springy page right here, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with doing two spring pages together. But I also have all this other junk sitting on my desk. If I could turn my camera without making y'all totally seasick, I would do that. And you would look at my table and go, oh my God, how does she create that mess? And I wonder that sometimes too. So anyway, I've got all this stuff that's just laying on my desk, table, whatever you want to call it. So this is fairly new. This was a sheet, which I've already started ripping on. This came from Elizabeth at Never Hopeless. If you're watching, Elizabeth, hi. I love your stuff. So I had this laying on my table because I had just printed it. So I thought I'd use pieces of it. And I was going to go more of because of this, I'm going to kind of go more of a brownish theme rather than the spring theme. I have a huge block of tissue paper of this. It came in a order from the Brave Girls Club. I think that's what it's called. If it's not, I'll correct myself in the description. So anyway, I tore a big chunk of it out. Here's a little piece that came with it. And sorry, I know you're just looking at a blank page, and I'm sure that's totally boring. And then I went through, I wanted to say something about my friend Tina and I are planning a trip. So I pulled that out, which I know doesn't go with the color theme. Thought I would just write the comments in there. This was my aha moment when I went, why don't I use this stuff and use it up and get it off my desk? Here's a little piece of a map that I had torn out from the day before. If you are a member of the group, you saw my posted page, but anyway, I'd made a tag using a piece of a map. So this is what was left over of that. And then I just had a few odds and ends. I was tearing something off of something else. And I just got these new little hearts. I might fill in with that. And then I've got these little enamel dots that I had just gotten. I also had these great buttons that I just ordered from somebody off of Etsy. I cannot remember her name. But I love this button right here. Have no idea what I would do with it or how I'm going to do anything with it, but I thought I might use that, or there's some other brown buttons in here. I might use that. And I've got some other little pieces of paper that I might fill in with wherever. Not quite sure yet. And I've got this little piece of ribbon that came wrapped around some little fabric scraps that I got from Gina at the Rebookery channel. And I will definitely link her below. Love, if you have not seen Gina and how she puts together her journal pages and her junk journals, love, 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 love her. This all came from her. And I've used one tiny little piece of the fabric, and that's pretty much it. Right now I might try and incorporate that. And then I've got a couple of little scrappy leftover things that I've been, I mean, like, this is the kind of junk that just lays on my desk. So anyway, I'm going to get started here, and because I've already, as Elizabeth would call it, yammered away for half of the time I have allotted myself for this video. So what I'm going to do first is, I think I am going to, sorry as I scramble through my stuff, I'm afraid this is going to get out of view, but I apologize. So I'm going to use the rest of my flyer that I got from work to do my gluing. So that's generally speaking what I do is I would just use basically anything. I have pieces of paper. I use flyers from, those little flyers you get in your newspaper, or not your newspaper, but in your mailbox that come with ads and stuff like that in them. It's really hard for me to think and talk at the same time. So I apologize. This may not be a good idea for me to do this on camera. But anyway, so I take those, and usually I don't use anything out of it. It's just junky, coupon-y stuff. And I as long as they're glossy, like slick kind of, and that's what I use to glue my things with. So if you don't normally do that, maybe that's a new idea for you. So what I'll do is I'll keep gluing on this piece of paper, and as you can see, there's other glue here. And eventually it'll get too gummy, if that's the word for it. And you know what, I'm not gonna glue on there, I'm gonna glue right on my page. And then all I do is just throw it away. Well, actually I don't even throw it away. I put it in my my recycling. So let's see how that works. So I'm just gonna kind of do this. And so I have this, I don't know if you saw I used this before to kind of, once I get the glue on whatever it is, to kind of smooth it out. This is just an old rewards card. So that's what I use to kind of poke things into the crevices and to smooth out the paper. So this is actually fairly thick tissue paper. I wouldn't do this on something really thin or something that I was worried about, tearing. But this is actually pretty thick stuff. And I've got a ton of this. I ordered like cards or something. I'm not sure why they gave me so much tissue paper, but it filled the box, so. And I love it. I mean, it's got great words on it. Courageous, incredible, amazing, phenomenal, happy, etc. So anyway, so that's that. And I'm thinking, I love to have borders. In case you've not watched me before, I usually have washi tape around the edges, or I will draw around the edges, color in the edges, you know, whatever. So I'm not going to use washi on this. It's a little too structured for what I'm trying to do here, but I am just going to use some pieces. And I will probably go back later and trim this up a little bit, but I'll do that off camera so you don't have to watch me do that. And let's see, what else do I want to put on here? Here, I'm going to try this. So sorry, I know some of this is off camera, but it's just the best I can do with the limited means that I have. I thought I had something a little more colorful to put over here, but oh well. Whoops, just tore that. There. So, excuse me as I reach off camera again. Just trying to check my time. I only have a couple of minutes left. And then I will do maybe the rest of this in a second video. So I'm going to put, I think I'm going to put my map, make sure it's upside right. This is not the place we're going to, it's just a random piece of map. And I think I'm going to put that like that. I like the Elmer School Glue because it's the disappearing purple. And I like that so I can see that I've gotten everything covered. But I also, this is my favorite glue right here, is the Uhu. For things that are a little bit heavier, or when I'm gluing stuff on top of stuff, I like to use it. But while it looks blue, it does not come out blue. So anyway, I'm using that. That's my long way of saying when I glue like little cardstock pieces, I like to use it. So I'm just kind of setting these down in case you can't tell. This is where I'm going to write what I want to write. You know, I guess I could move this over here so you could actually see me. I don't know that that's exciting watching me glue, but I guess it's better than just looking at nothing. So anyway, that's what I'm planning on writing, my little update about our trip, which we are planning for next month. And I've had a couple of little thoughts on that I wanted to write. And let me put that right there. And then I've got this little piece. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with it. I'm not sure if I'm just going to put it right there. I might do that. Just because I want to use it. I had cut part of it off. Here, I'm just tearing the edge in case you can't hear that. I'm sorry. You know, this, like I said, this is my first time doing this, so I apologize if I'm not doing a good job of it. This is just totally random, so I'm just going to put this on here. And I really want something for the bottom of the page. Oops. That's a good thing about glue sticks is if it hasn't been on there very long, you really can just peel them off. But that concerns me too because I'm wondering over time if that's just the sticky's gonna wear off, and then I'm gonna have all this loose stuff in my book. But anyway, another subject for another day. I do want something along the bottom here. Haven't quite decided what that is yet. I've got these. This is an old piece of jelly print. You know what? I think I'm just going to tear that off and put that on there. Maybe the other side would have been better, but anyway. Or I had thought about just putting some marker there, but you know what? I'm just going to do this. And oops, sorry. And I think I'm gonna do another piece over here. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll do this one. That was my little timer to tell me to stop. So I'm going to finish up this little piece right here. And then I'll come back and maybe, finish up just a little bit more. So anyway, I'm gonna trim this up a little bit and figure out, maybe do some of my writing, and then I'll come back and finish this up. Thanks.